As someone who lived and worked in Central America, I was very inspired to hear about CASA decades ago, really. And I have heard of them, volunteered with them, and my congregation has interacted with them. You will hear about one of the most inspiring organizations that works with immigrants from Jhosse here. And I'm extremely happy to present Jhosse Rivera. He is senior manager for individual giving, but I know him as coordinator for the allies. Now, who's an ally? I'm an ally. You all could be allies. Maybe you are, but as he will explain, the membership of CASA are the immigrants, and the ideas come from them. So I am very happy to present Jhosse Rivera from CASA, or newly named We Are CASA.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here. As Charlotte mentioned, my name is Jhosse Rivera. I am the Senior Manager of Individual Giving at CASA. I have had the wonderful pleasure of being with CASA for 11 years now. I also was a member of the DC Rotary Club for a number of years. My wife, Allison Rivera, was a past president. So I've had the pleasure of meeting a lot of you, Max. I've been in your house, wonderful parties, and Bob Shaw, I see you on the Zoom. Good to see you again virtually, But yeah, joining me today is my colleague, Angelia Amaya. I'm just going to start things off by giving you a brief background, a little bit about CASA and our history and our work. CASA's mission is to create a more just society by building power and improving the quality of life in working class, Black, Latino, IA, Afro-descendant, Indigenous, and immigrant communities. That's a mouthful. I know it, but it's because it's on purpose, because we want to make sure that we're inclusive of our work. I'll talk a little bit more about that. And our vision, CASA's vision, is rooted in the collective power of our community. Our inclusive, permanent, member-led movement radically transforms communities and systems to ensure the needs, dreams, and aspirations of members are fully met as we strive for justice and complete liberation at home and in solidarity across the world. So I'm going to talk a lot about member-led and what that means. But that's our mission and our vision. We are an organization of 192 staff and permanent volunteers. As of January 2026, we have members across the country, which we'll talk again a little bit more about. And we have physical presence in Pennsylvania, Georgia, Virginia, and Maryland. We have 10 offices. If you're in Virginia, Woodbridge. If you're in Maryland, you might know us in Hyattsville and Rockville, Silver Spring, and so on and so forth. Who we are: 189,000 lifetime members across 46 states, Puerto Rico, and the district. So we have a lot of members in DC. As of February 1st, we've officially changed our name publicly from just CASA to We Are CASA. So you'll forgive me as I talk. I'm going to say CASA, 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 CASA. And it's just because 11 years is hard to rewrite your brain to start saying the full name. But We Are CASA is the new name. So we're a member-led organization. 189,000 lifetime members across 46 states. We regularly serve about 40,000 people annually. CASA works to directly address the human needs of our members by operating direct service programs. Simultaneously, we organize and promote grassroots movements with our members so they can better advocate for them on behalf of themselves and their communities to impact public policy and conversation around immigration. Through direct services and organizing, we aim to address the root causes of the inequities faced by working class immigrants. So in a nutshell, we make sure that folks who come to us have direct services that they might need to better involve themselves civically in their communities. In terms of our history, we're founded in 1985. We were founded by a group of immigrants that were fleeing civil strife and unrest in Central America. As many of you will remember, right? Civil wars in El Salvador, civil strife in Nicaragua, Honduras, Guatemala caused a lot of push factors for folks to flee and came to the DC area. There were organizations in DC, but there were none in suburban Maryland. And so we started out in a church basement in Tacoma Park, Maryland. And originally were called Central American Solidarity and Assistance of Maryland, hence the CASA It was an acronym, it no longer is. So if you were wondering, what does CASA mean? We kept with it the name because it means house in Spanish, and we like to think we're home for immigrants. We've changed, and in Italian, that's right. And yes, yes. Thank you. Yeah. And so we've changed our name for a couple of reasons. One, because we are no longer just in Maryland, so we dropped out of Maryland, and we no longer use the acronym because we don't only serve immigrants from Central America. We are member led from immigrants across the world. We began doing organizing. That's working directly with folks and hearing from them, and I'll talk about more of that in a second. In 1991, and in 2010, we started our membership model. We Are CASA is a member-led organization. What that means, I'm gonna elaborate here. What that means is that we organize. When we say we're member-led, we mean it. Like it's not just a slogan. CASA members organize into local committees amongst themselves. So in DC, we have a local committee, in Prince George's County and Montgomery County, and in Virginia, we have local committees where members get together and they talk about what they're seeing in their communities. What are the things that they would like to see? What are the services they'd like to see? What are the opportunities to become more civically engaged? They gather together, organized by a CASA organizer. They discuss these things. They share with each other their hopes, their dreams, or aspirations, and they tell us as an organization what we should and shouldn't be focusing on. Because as you all know, there's 1,001 things that you could be doing to try to improve the world, but there's only so much resources and time. So they direct us as an organization what to do. In addition to those individual conversations that they're having at the local level, they're also electing 2 representatives to a larger state level leadership council and a committee, and then to a national committee. And at those levels, those leadership committees do the same thing. They talk about what is the needs, dreams, and aspirations at the state level, and what advocacy efforts, what policy opportunities there are, where should we become more involved. A photo on the left is members in Richmond meeting with state lawmakers, and on the right, on the steps of Annapolis outside of Lawyers Mall. If those of you have ever been there, it's a beautiful space at the Maryland State Capitol after meeting with state legislators. It's a wonderful experience to be in the room with CASA members when they talk about what's happening with, in their communities with state lawmakers. It's a powerful experience to hear folks who, are passionate about their lives. They're passionate about, being members of the community, and to hear them share those hopes, dreams, and aspirations with lawmakers, knowing that they are able to be civically engaged as much as they are because CASA is able to provide them the direct services to take care of them and stabilize them so that they can continue to become civically engaged and participate. We talk about all the time that CASA is a wraparound organization, and in order for folks to become engaged civically, they need to be able to have their direct and immediate needs taken care of. Well, our members are primarily low income and working class. I mentioned, of course, that our history, because of our history as an organization, the majority of our members are Latin American, but we have a larger and growing population of West African members coming from countries such as Cameroon, Cote d'Ivoire, and Ghana. We also have a lot of our members are limited in English speaking. They have either French or an indigenous language or Spanish as their primary language. They face challenges securing employment. They face financial issues. They also have healthcare access issues, and oftentimes deal with wage theft and other barriers because they are afraid to ask questions and understand, and don't necessarily understand what protections that they exist for them and their communities. In terms of the services, I've talked a lot about that. CASA provides a lot of services, and I say this all the time that I could spend the whole 20 minutes just talking about the services that we provide. But in a nutshell, it's vocational training, it's job placement, helping folks find a job, helping folks gain their skills, ESOL classes to improve their English proficiency, health services and referrals, and tax services to help them, file their taxes. A lot of our members, most of our members file taxes. They have to do that in a certain way, and there's a lot of questions they have. We have free tax services that we provide. We're ramping those up. Last year, we were able to provide folks with over $5 million in benefit. That's a combination of like tax returns and also the cost of it would have been for the member to go and pay someone to prepare those taxes. So it's a direct benefit in people's pockets. Yeah, vocational training. So this is really small, and I'm sorry, I'm just kind of yada-yaing a lot of the services. But the other big one is our legal services. We provide folks with access to an immigrant attorney as well as an employment attorney or a housing attorney if the folks have questions about an employment issue they might be having or around housing. We're able to serve them and provide services, provide them with referrals and possibly represent them in court if needed. We are CASA serves members with those basic needs so they can become more civically engaged, as I mentioned. That is what helps make CASA different from other organizations, that our community organizing is integral to CASA's model and work to serve and then empower the immigrant community and organize them into those committees so that they can advocate through legal advocacy and through civic engagement. So legal advocacy, when I say that, I mean, I refer to like impact litigation or pursuing legal cases to protect the rights of CASA members against things like wage theft or representing CASA members in class action lawsuits as needed. And in civic engagement, I'm referring to those grassroots lobbying at all levels, like at the city, at the county, at the state, as well as nonpartisan voter registration and nonpartisan get out the vote. CASA is a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and I forgot to say that at the top of the presentation. So all of our work is nonpartisan. We also support people in political like leadership academies, which is just helping our CASA members understand, civics. Like how does the U.S. Political system work? What are the rights of folks and for folks who can vote, how to get involved and how to vote. So here is some examples, very small again, some examples of the different types of advocacy work and that we have done in the past and areas in which we focus on. There are a lot of examples, but there's so much more that we provide, so much more to what people are doing at the national level or around immigrant justice. We're supporting folks in finding a pathway to citizenship. We're fighting to protect temporary protected status, deferred action for childhood arrivals, which you may have heard as referred to as DACA, and other policies and that support folks and allow them to find employment and be a part of society and pay taxes. At the local level, we support folks in fighting for greater access to healthcare. We support folks in looking for opportunities to create trust acts and trust policies at the city and county levels. A lot of our members also find, in addition to immigration and health, find climate justice as something of a priority, especially with our youth leaders. So at different levels, we've worked with county councils and city councils to find avenues in which folks can advocate for that and help, make sure that climate justice is taken care of. And housing justice is an area that a lot of our members also focus on. So a lot of like I mentioned, our members are low income working class individuals. So they are tenants, making sure that policies are fair, that they are protected, that especially like corporate landlords are abiding by existing policies and laws and, communicating with state regulators when needed. We're doing a lot right now in supporting members and supporting immigrants across the region. We provide something that KYR, Know Your Right workshops in canvassing. Since 2025, we've reached over 8,000 folks in the community and providing them basic Know Your Rights workshops. This is like giving folks the basic understanding of what are your rights under the Constitution of all individuals when interacting with law enforcement. What are your basic rights, your right to remain silent or your what is and isn't a judicial warrant. We do operate a ICE raid hotline, so folks can call and ask questions about any interactions they may have had. And we've provided with legal consultation to over 4,300 people since 2025 and continue to do so. We have also filed 5 lawsuits to challenge illegal actions that have been taken by the current administration, such as defending birthright citizenship, which is enshrined in the Constitution. So just a couple examples. Some of those lawsuits include ensuring that we are securing the right to birthright citizenship, upholding temporary protected status when it has been unlawfully rescinded, and fighting DC warrantless arrests. As you may recall, in September, there was a surge of enforcement actions in DC. And in particular, we have seen through CASA members sharing their stories with us that there are interactions that didn't follow the policies set by the Department of Homeland Security, as well as the law that is understood of and precedent set around probable cause and a reasonable suspicion when interacting with police with ICE agents. Excuse me. I breezed right through this. I know the questions is probably the meat of this presentation, but if I were to disappear right now and you were wondering how do you stay informed and involved with CASA, we have an email listserv you're welcome to sign up for, as well as SMS updates that we send out periodically. We also have volunteer opportunities. So a lot of the direct services I mentioned that we provide are supported by volunteers. We're recently hiring a new volunteer coordinator. So that's going to be an exciting opportunity to engage and involve more people who want to support. So like an example, something very easy that people can help with is resume workshops. Folks come, they want to find a job. They don't know exactly how to format their resume. They have experience. They sit down with somebody who helps them, coach them through it, and then potentially also helps them kind of like explore avenues for employment. Through our citizenship program, where folks who have legal permanent residency and have all the necessary requirements to become a naturalized citizen, we support them in filling out the application. They meet with a lawyer to make sure that everything's good. And then the volunteer will help them kind of go through the process of filling out the application and putting any documents together and kind of going through that. That's something that you don't need a legal background necessarily to do, and volunteers help with that. As a 501c3 nonprofit organization, right, in order to continue to provide the services that CASA needs, the legal services, the Know Your Rights workshops, the English classes, we're funded and fueled by direct support from the community members, from folks in the community, by allies such as yourselves. So we always need the support and from partners and individuals in the community like you. If you are interested in investing in CASA, we are more than welcome to talk about that individually, or, we appreciate your support. Any contribution of that is meaningful to you is meaningful to us. So we really appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you. Oh, and I'd like to invite Angelita to come up.
I'm just here to be moral support. I'm Angelia. As a matter of fact, I am actually a recipient of CASA services when they first started. I married an immigrant who fled the Civil War in El Salvador. And in '85, we were some of those people in that church basement looking for help. And they were able to help us. And my husband was able to go along the path and become a naturalized citizen. We have 2 sons. And they got to see their father sworn in as a United States citizen. So it was very moving. So I've come back to CASA. I returned 4 years ago to work with CASA. I'm all about social justice. I sleep, eat, drink, breathe, dream it. I am a Haitian descendant. So I am a Black immigrant. I'm the great, great, great granddaughter of Black immigrants. And I grew up knowing and seeing the injustices that are committed against all immigrants, all the neighborhoods that I've lived in. I'm a native Washingtonian. I'm a brat, lived across the country and decided to come back and live home. Grew up in Tacoma Park. When my parents divorced, I became a DC public school student. I am a DC high school graduate, went to college here and gone away. But my role is to engage with our donors, have conversations, answer sometimes hard questions, and ask for your support, whether it is your time, your talent, which I see there's a lot of talent in the room, and of course, your treasure. Your treasure goes a very, very long way. And I'm very, very focused and excited about the work we do with the youth today. As a mother of Afro-Latino children, as a community advocate, I am the liaison in my county for Spanish-speaking families. When the parents do not speak English, but the children do, and they don't understand the information that they're taking home to their parents. So, as I said, I'm very, very enmeshed in social justice on all fronts. If you have any questions, please feel free. I'll be here until they shut it down. And I can be reached. That is the phone number. You can reach me at the end of the slides. I do have a copy of it if you needed to take a photograph.
Thank you so much for your presentation. You guys clearly do a tremendous job for the immigrant community, particularly from the Americas. In light of your presentation, which I thought was broad, do you all believe it's possible that you all are trying to do too much? In light of the broad scope of what justice means?
The answer is that as of right now, yes, a little bit. With everything that's going on, there are a lot of opportunities for mission creep. Anyone who's worked at it, or really anywhere, right? It's easy to start taking on more work. In a nonprofit sector, there's always a lot of need and you always want to be the one to fill it, but not necessarily are the best to be the ones to fill it, right? So as an organization, we're really focusing internally on what services we are really good at and which services we're like okay at, and maybe we don't provide those anymore. As I mentioned at the top of the presentation, right, a lot of our services were started because our members asked for them. Whether or not they continue to ask for it is another question. And so that's another conversation that we plan to have with our membership, like what services do they definitely need us to have and what services do they not need us to have? Because mission creep is real and we want to make sure that we're focusing on that. In addition to the new name change, one thing that I didn't mention is that our new executive director, George Escobar, started in January 1st after 34 years of our previous executive director. Is a long time, right? He's looking at the organization now with that exact thought in mind of how do we streamline and make sure that we're really focusing on the work that we're doing and doing well. Because yeah, you're absolutely right. Mission creep is real.
What percentage of your work is the legal cases you were talking about? And part two, how do you source your attorneys for that work?
So we have a legal department where definitely the 100% of their time is dedicated to that. If you're asking like the percent of people that come in seeking the legal services, off the top of my head, I don't remember the number, but I know that it's our number one or number two, depending on the year, requested service from folks. Where we source, we have internal and staff attorneys. Our department, legal department is, I think, 20 right now. But we do also work with Georgetown Law, with ICAP, which I can't remember what the acronym stands for now, but it's a community-based legal organization. We also partner with other great organizations when we don't have the capacity, and we refer people to, such as like HIAS, such as Amica Law Center, which they just changed. They used to be called something else, but CARE Coalition. Yeah, thank you. CAIR, right? CARE. Yeah, it was an acronym, right? But now they're Amica. So we partner with them, and also like Catholic Charities, right? Because we all do similar work in terms of our legal services. So we all always make sure we're partnering together. And we do have a pro bono coordinator. So if folks are looking to do some pro bono work for their bar status and all like that, we make sure that there's opportunities to do that. So if you are or know somebody who wants to do some pro bono legal work, please let me know, and I'm more than welcome to connect you.
So we're going to plant a tree down in the tidal basin in your name.